Hello and welcome to my channel where we live, love, learn and laugh. Karibuni sana. Okay, so today I'm going to be discussing about friendships. What is the importance of friendships? Why do we need friends in our lives? What are friends for? A friend is someone who's supposed to be supportive of you, someone who's supposed to be encouraging, someone who's supposed to be a companion, and as well as somebody whom you can fellowship with. A friend is someone who's supposed to support you in the sense that, let's say you have a dream towards something, or you have a goal or an idea. A friend is the one who's supposed to have your back, basically. Someone you can talk to, someone you can ask for ideas and also get feedback from, and someone who can also help you in 1, 2, 3 things. And also when you're feeling down in life, when you're feeling discouraged, maybe discouraged from your vision, discouraged from life, whether it's marriage, education, or just societal issues, or even personal issues, a friend is the one who's supposed to give you that backup. The friend is supposed to encourage you, and let you know that it's okay, it's okay, and you can keep going, you can keep moving, you can get to where you want to be, and you can be happy. And we all need a friend in our lives. I know sometimes friendships can be very difficult, which is why today I decided I'm going to speak about friendships. What are the types of friendships that we should keep? What type of friends should you have around you? You should have friends who are more of encouragers instead of discouragers. But as much as you want a friend or friends who are going to encourage you in your journey, who are going to celebrate you, who are going to support you, people whom you can share your life with, good times, bad times, they can be there for you. You can talk to them about anything, and you'll be comfortable, and you'll also be empowered to keep moving forward in life. But you yourself, you need to look at yourself. Are you an encourager or are you a discourager? And I remember one time, a few years ago, before I gave my life to Christ, yes, I am saved. I do confess that Jesus Christ is Lord in my life. And but shortly before I got to that point, I remember I was going through a certain phase in my life where I was looking at the types of friendships that I was having around me. And I kept asking myself, how come I'm not happy? Yes, I have people who I can call friends. Yes, I'm surrounded by people who also call themselves my friend. But at the end of the day, there is a disconnect between us. Because a friend to me is somebody who knows you well enough, somebody whom you can be able to be open with and share with them everything in your life, basically. They're like, you can be, they're like, a friend is like an open book. A friend is supposed to be like your diary, someone you can talk to, and not to expect them to either use whatever it is that you share with them against you, or you don't expect your friends to be jealous of you. You don't expect your friends to be envious of you, And so for me, during that time, those were the setbacks that I was experiencing in friendships. And I kept asking myself, why? How come I just don't have that one person who I can say, this person is my friend, this person knows me in and out, this is someone I feel comfortable sharing my pain with, my happiness, good times, bad times. Like, this is someone who I feel comfortable associating myself with. And so I happened to have gone to a church service one day, and the preacher of that day asked a very important question. And he basically based his preaching on that. And he was like, what, in life, how do you see yourself? Are you an encourager or are you a discourager? Because if you're the type of person who discourages people, maybe they come and tell you they have a dream or they want to do ABCD, and you're like, you start looking at all the, as in basically you're like a destiny killer. You start looking at all the circumstances around whatever it is they are saying, and you're like, that is impossible, So at that point, I realized, even me, myself, I needed to change myself. There were some aspects about me that I needed to change. Not that I was a destiny killer, in the sense where I didn't wish my friends well, but, I was also not that very encouraging as a friend. And that is something that I noted inside of me. And so I began changing, I began working on it. But even with that said, man, I think one day I'm going to give you my testimony. hey, I've gone through a lot in the name of friendship. In life I've come across friends who just did not wish me well, in the sense where some of them even took me to witch doctors. I've been through all that. Nimerogwa. Yeah, by people who were calling themselves my friends, out of baseless, basically, jealousy or envy. Like I was talking about in my other video of Destiny Killers. If you haven't watched it, please refer to that. And yeah, some of the people I called my friends, they were just envious of my life, or they were just jealous of me, just for basically who I am, not even what I have, just my character, my personality, to a point where, some of them went to some very, very great lengths to make sure that my life just became useless. I became a hopeless person, just to try and completely break me. And from that point onwards, I was like, man, who needs friends in this life? We can do without friends. All right. So what should one look for in a relationship or in a friend? To me, I believe one should look for loyalty. You should look for character and integrity. What are their moral principles? What are their values? How do they carry themselves? How do they even think about themselves? And also, how do they act? And I would also say look for somebody who is somebody who can empathize with you and not necessarily sympathize with you. Don't look for a friend who is always, oh, Oishe, that's what you've been through in life. That's what you're going through, Oishe. Because one day those Oishes are going to come to an end. And when they come to an end, that's the time now you're going to start seeing the person for who they really are. And most of the time, it's an ugly side. So for me, I would say, instead of looking for someone who sympathizes with you, look for somebody who empathizes with you. Because somebody who empathizes with you can encourage you in the journey. They can encourage you, and you can probably even walk together, because you might find someone or a friend who is going through exactly what you're going through. And that person might be in a better position to encourage you and empower you. You encourage each other, empower each other, and you come out of the situation stronger, and you continue moving on with your life as friends, being there, supporting each other, encouraging each other, etc. And I would also say look for somebody who is amiable. Look for someone who has a friendly character. Someone who just generally is a friend. They are supportive, they're encouraging, somebody you can fellowship with, a companion in life, someone you can call all the time. Us girls, especially ladies, we like those hotlines where you're like, oh my God, babe, did you hear? Every time something goes down in your life, the first person you think about is your best friend, someone you can just vent to. So look for someone who's amiable, someone who's friendly, and accommodating also of you, because some friends can become hectic. Like I remember there's one time I used to have another friend, until it reached a point where now I used to silence her calls, because this girl used to call me like basically 10 times a day to vent about her life. But now the sad part was that I could not do the same, because for her, she could call me and tell me whatever, how her day was, whatever, obstacles she was experiencing. And I would be there for her as a friend, because especially sometimes when you're just in the mood of venting, you need someone to just listen. And I used to do that for her. But then I realized whenever I would be in a place where I just need to vent, I just need someone who can listen to me. Whenever I would call her, she would have no interest in listening to whatever I had to say, So it reached a point I was like, girl, your calls are now beginning to go on mute, silence. Like, I'm not even trying to have it, because of course that wasn't a true friend. She was a friend in my life, in the sense where she was leaning on me as her support system, but I could not lean on her as my support system, which is not true friendship. True friendship, you should be there for each other, and you should be there to support each other through all your circumstances. And then lastly, I would say, just basically look for someone who's generally kind, trustworthy, someone whom you can tell your secrets and not be afraid that one day they are going to come out, or they are going to use it against you to paint you in a bad light. Look for someone who you can trust, someone who's kind, and someone who's not pretending. Don't have a Judas in your life. You know, someone who just waits to listen to your pain or your sorrows, and then one day, you know, in a blink of an eye, they're all of a sudden using it against you, or they're going out there and painting you in a bad image. You're thinking you have a companion, someone you can relate with, someone you can talk to, but the minute you hang up that phone, or the minute you guys go your own separate ways, man, you know, that person is already speaking to the next person, telling them all your problems. You know, I also used to have a friend like that. Man, that chick used to magnify my weaknesses. You know, someone who, like, whenever I would talk to her about a certain situation, and sometimes would even be joking. You know, sometimes as friends, when you're with your friend, you feel free, you feel open. So sometimes maybe you can say something about someone because you know that's a friend. You know, like, you don't expect them to actually go and blurt it out to the person, you know. So... sometimes we used to have discussions, you know, and where I will just basically tell her my opinion on what I think, probably about a particular person or a particular individual or whatever. And the next thing you know, she'll either call that person and repeat the same conversation we had with them, you know, where she'll be like, oh, by the way, you know, even Jerry was telling me ABCD. So the next time I'm meeting this person, they're looking at me with a funny eye, or some of them will even call me and be like, I mean, really, you know, like, you had to go and have such a discussion with that, you know, with your friend, you know, as in that, hey, that chick, man, hey. She was not a true friend. She was a Judas, like real Judas, you know, a betrayer. As in, she was the type of person who just used to look for weaknesses, you know, the type of friend who looks for weaknesses in you so that they can magnify them in order to glorify themselves. You know, it's like she used to hide behind my weaknesses. So it was easier for her to magnify whatever I say or whatever I do as a way of her hiding from her own, because she used to have a ton of issues. But to me, I never magnified her issues. I never even showed her that I knew she had issues with which she had never discussed with me, you know. But yeah, so those are just some of Masaibu and Jerry when it comes to friendships. Okay, how can a friend prevent you from growth? A friend can prevent you from growth spiritually, financially, you know, exponentially, just in general. They can prevent you from rising, you know, because sometimes, okay, spiritually, a friend can prevent you from growth by fighting you through other means. You know, they can use witchcraft on you, they can cast spells on you, they can basically just shield you, you know, kind of like put a veil around you where you don't grow spiritually, because that person is not a true friend to you, that person is not a genuine friend to you, but there's a certain way they come through for you where you're like, okay, you don't really feel the sense of breaking off that friendship, because to some extent there's a side of you or a part of you which they complement, you know, and that side is your weakness, a weakness that you need to work on and detach away from it so that you can spiritually grow and not remain contained in a particular area with a friend who is basically toxic. You know, that's a toxic friendship, but you remain there because you're like, hey, nyewe, you know, this person at least understands this side of me that nobody else understands. And at the same time, it's a side that of you that you're struggling with because you need to let go of it and grow. And a friend can prevent you from growth because it becomes your comfort zone, and they cover you with that comfort of, yeah, you know, I'm your friend, you know, and nobody else knows about this side of you, but I am here, you know, I'm that friend who knows, I'm that friend who's there, but really that friend doesn't wish you well, they are not genuine, they are not loving, they are not kind. Sometimes they are not even your friend because they want to be your friend. They are your friend because they want to monitor your life in order to find a way to bring you down and bring themselves up, or just bring you down because themselves they are down and they don't even want to rise up from whatever it is that they are going through. All right. So how can a friend destroy you? A friend can destroy you even financially. You know, going back to how can a friend destroy? I mean, going back to how can a friend prevent you from growth? A friend can prevent you from growth, financially even, because there are some friends who will become so, you know, envious of you. If you happen to be successful, some friends can become so envious of your success to a point where they bury your money, you know, like they'll take your money, they'll come and tell you, oh, by the way, can you loan me like probably, let's say $50 or $100, Or, if it's in shillings, they'll probably be like, can you give me 1,000 bob, or can you give me 5,000 bob? I promise I'll pay you back. But that 5,000 bob, or that $100 or $50 that they are taking from you, they're not taking from you because they need it for anything. No, they are taking it from you because they want to go and be with you with that money. They want to go and do something with that money so that they can prevent you from being successful, because they need that money as a point of contact. So you find that they'll come and ask you, oh, just loan me the money, I'll give it to you. And as long as you go inside your pocket, you take that money and you give it to them, you have opened a spiritual door for them to use it against you. So financially, they can destroy you that way, or financially, they can waste you. The type of friends who don't, let's say if you're thinking of starting a project, instead of encouraging you in the sense of even giving you ideas and helping you, let's say you want to build a house, a friend is the one who will tell you, okay, this is how you can achieve that dream. They'll support you. Maybe you need an architect, somebody who can draw out a floor plan for you. Maybe you need to know, when I want to buy land, how do I buy land? A friend can be resourceful, a friend can tell you, maybe you need to see this type of inspector, somebody who can help you, come and a surveyor, somebody who can check out the land, check out the place, if you're building, where can you get building materials? Where can you get good fundis, good workers who can construct a house for you? A friend can help you in all those. But if a friend wants to destroy you financially, a friend can come and tell you, why do you need to build a house? You're still young. Sherehe, 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 So instead of using your money wisely by investing in something, a friend can convince you or encourage you to waste away your money, to a point where now, by the time now all your money is gone and you're coming back to your senses, you have not done anything with your life. That's the time you're looking at your life, you're like, man, at one point I was holding this amount of money, I was doing this, I was doing that, but at the end of the day, even all the dreams you had, they just went to waste, because either you drank all your money, or you wasted all your money on women, you wasted all your money on men, you wasted all your money, you wasted your money on material stuff, instead of investing it in a way that it can help you in the future. So that's a way, those are two ways that a friend can destroy you financially. They can take you out of your dream and put you in a place of darkness where you can no longer, your hands become, it's called tying of your hands. Your hands no longer become productive. You don't produce, as in whatever you do, your money is bound. Or they can persuade you out of your dreams and hopes until now they squander everything, and once you have no money, that's the time you wake up and you're like, man, I'm this old and I have not done anything with my life, all my money is gone, where do I start? All right, a friend can also destroy you emotionally, because there are some wicked friends out there. I'm telling you, people in this world can be wicked. Woi. There are certain friends who can actually go to an extent of dragging you, putting you in a state of, either disillusion where you have no idea what's going on, and they can even take advantage of you. They can abuse you physically, or by physically I mean sexually, as in watu uchotwa kwa hii life. You can have a friend who just does not wish you well. And I've also ever had one of these friends, baby. That's why I'm telling you, one day I'm going to give you a testimony about my life when it comes to friendships. Kavumbi nimekapitia. But I thank God, because I learned through that journey. And not only did I learn through going through pain caused, external pain inflicted by people who I thought were my friends, but also myself, I learned how to become an encourager instead of a discourager. I learned how to be a good friend and how not to be like them, how not to be a false friend or a fake friend who does not wish well for my friends. And so that also implies in relationships, you need a loyal partner. Look for someone who is going to be supportive of you, who's going to encourage you, someone who you share the same vision with, someone who you share the same principles, same values. Look at their integrity and their character. Don't just get into a relationship with a man or a woman who at the end of the day doesn't even believe in the Almighty God. Let's say you are saved and you believe in God, and I'm not saying that these things don't happen to those who know God. They do. Like for me, I've been in some certain situations where I found myself in a position of being dragged. A friend of yours maybe can know she's probably not well health-wise. And because she's like, you know what, I have to take you down. She's a destiny killer. And she's like, because I have to take you down, I'm not going to be content at you are happy and me I'm not. They do something like that. And then they capture your man. And the next thing you know, you're also suffering from a health situation, So as in friends, men, just know the type of friends you have. And above all, just pray. Pray for God to guide you to having, to bring you to that place where you can have a friend who shares the same values as you, a friend who shares the same principles as you, and I think I'll discuss about that more when I do a topic or I speak about relationships, the type of love relationships that you should be with, or you should be in, or the type of man or woman that you should look for or aspire to have in your life. Be with someone who has your faith, Don't just be with someone who's maybe you love them for, or you like them for other things, but then you don't look at the aspect or the side of their faith, because even faith matters in all relationships, whether it's friendships, whether it's love relationships, all those things do matter, You don't want to end up with a guy who will just be philandering himself out there, or will be finding himself in a place where every time he's just being dragged and he's ending up with different women, because at the end of the day utagonjeka, this person will bring you some other diseases that doctors don't even know the names of yet, as in. So yeah, so having friends in your life, it's important, because you need a friend to support you, you need a friend to encourage you, you need a friend to make you laugh when you're down, and you yourself also, you need to be that friend. You need to support your friend, you need to encourage your friend, you need to be there for your friends, and be a companion, love, trust, be loyal to your friend, and encourage each other on this journey. Keep being the person that you would want someone else to be to you. It doesn't matter how many times you've been betrayed. It doesn't matter, how many people have walked out of your life. It doesn't matter how many people have walked into your life as friends, but later on you come to realize they were your enemies and they walked out as your foes. As long as you have come to that point of realizing that, yes, no man is an island, you do need someone in your life as a friend, as a companion. Never lose hope, but yourself, be the best friend that you would like somebody else to be to you. Okay, so with that said, I am going to end this video here. Until next time, bye-bye.